Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is the Good Game Podcast, hosted by yours truly, A1K, and we are back for yet another action-packed episode of the Good Game Podcast. This is episode 20, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in to today's episode. Before we get started, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any episodes we drop on this channel in the future. And hit that like button right now. Please don't waste any time. Hit that like button to get us started with today's episode. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and kick it off. Talking about the NFL Super Bowl, we have a rematch of last year's big game. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles will be going at it yet again in a rematch game. The Kansas City Chiefs have been betting underdogs in the past two Super Bowls, but happen to open up as the favorites for next month's Super Bowl. The Chiefs were installed as a 1.5 favorite over the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday at ESPN Bet and sportsbooks around the nation. The over-under total opened at 49.5 at ESPN. So with that over-under, me personally, I would probably have to say I'm going to take the under just because I expect the game to be very close. I expect it to be highly competitive, probably not a high-scoring game. So, I would say under. I'm looking at a final score something around like 14-21. So that would keep them at, just under the points for this particular bet. So I'm not a gambler. This is not a gambling recommendation, but I would definitely pick the under just considering how both of these teams play, very competitive. Although Philadelphia did score 55 on the Washington Commanders this last weekend, I don't think they'll have that same offensive outrage against the Kansas City Chiefs defense, who has been playing quite well as of recently. The Kansas City beat the San Francisco 49ers in overtime as underdogs in last year's Super Bowl. The Chiefs also were underdogs when they rallied to beat the Eagles in their 2023 Super Bowl meeting. A rematch with Philadelphia stands in the Chiefs' way of becoming the first team to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. The Philadelphia Eagles began the season with 11-1 odds to win the Super Bowl at ESPN Bet. They cruised past the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship to reach their second Super Bowl in the past 3 seasons. Philadelphia has been an underdog in 3 games this season, winning each time. Joey Faisal of Caesars Sportsbook said he expects the betting public to be divided between Kansas City and Philadelphia, with more leaning towards the Chiefs with a chance at a three-peat. The favorite team has won 36 of 58 Super Bowls outright, but underdogs have been on a recent run, winning 10 of the past 17 Super Bowls. Underdogs are 29, 27, and 2 against the spread in the Super Bowl. We usually get a big flurry of bets for at least the first couple of hours, John Avello, DraftKings Sportsbook Director, said. Sometimes the line moves, sometimes it doesn't. The line ticked up to a consensus Chiefs -2 approximately 30 minutes after opening Sunday night. The Super Bowl is February 9th in New Orleans. So let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do you have the Kansas City Chiefs winning the big game? Do you have the Philadelphia Eagles? Do you think the over-under will cover? Do you think whatever odds you think? Let me know in the comment section. In my personal opinion, I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will more than likely three-peat and win their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl title, doing what no team has been able to do in the NFL so far. So I think it's just something that they set out to as a goal to accomplish. And right now they're knocking on the doorstep of accomplishing that goal. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't get it done. They definitely have all the talent. The team is very healthy. All the key players are in good shape, playing in good form. Patrick Mahomes is balling out of his mind right now. The last, couple drives he made against the Buffalo Bills team were incredible. Just all-star, all-world level plays he was making. The passes he was making, the accuracy, the timing was just flawless. So with that being said, I think that Philadelphia is going to have a similar situation they faced last year in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a close game. I think that Philadelphia probably will have more rushing yards, more time of possession. They're going to keep the ball on the ground using effective runnings with Saquon Barkley, some QB runs, and things of that nature. But ultimately, if the ball is in Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs' hand with the game on the line, they have what it takes to get the job done. So that's really what it's going to come down to. This game may come down to who has possession of the ball last. And that is my opinion on that. So looking forward to what you guys have to say about that in the comments section. Let me know who you got winning the big game on February 9th. With that being said, let's move on to our next topic of the day. So we have a trade to announce in the WNBA. That's right. One of the biggest trades this year so far in the WNBA has just been finalized. After a quiet first week of WNBA free agency, the first domino of player movement has fallen, and it's a massive one. In a blockbuster 3-team trade, the Las Vegas Aces are acquiring Seattle Storm guard Jewel Lloyd, while sending Aces guard Kelsey Plum to the Los Angeles Sparks, sources told ESPN on Sunday. It is the first trade in league history involving multiple number 1 overall picks. The Storm are also acquiring the number 2 pick in the 2025 WNBA draft and forward Lee Uru from the Sparks, as well as Las Vegas's 2026 first-round pick, sources told ESPN. Los Angeles receives a number 9 pick in 2025 and a 2026 second-round pick from Seattle. The Aces will get the number 13 pick in 2025 from the Sparks. The deal can't be official until February 1st because it involves a sign and trade for Kelsey Plum. Plum entered the offseason as a free agent, an indication that her time in Vegas as a part of the championship winning core alongside Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, and Chelsea Gray might be coming to an end. The Aces used their core designation on Plum, so her only way of changing teams was via a trade. But she had to sign off on the deal. She joins LA on a 1-year deal and hopes to stay with the Sparks beyond 2025, sources told ESPN. The vast majority of WNBA players, including Plum and Lloyd, are expected to be free agents in 2026, ahead of a new collective bargaining agreement that many anticipate will feature significant salary increases. Lloyd, meanwhile, still had 1 year left on her contract with the Storm. But her trade request occurred after her allegations of harassment and bullying against the Storm coaching staff. That prompted an external investigation which found no violations. Plum and Lloyd, both shooting guards, have shared similar trajectories as pros. They were both number 1 overall picks, Lloyd in 2015 to Seattle, Plum in 2017 to San Antonio, which relocated to Las Vegas 1 year later. They both emerged as all WNBA talents and perennial all-stars, each winning a pair of championships with their respective franchises. They were Olympic gold medalists in Tokyo, where Lloyd played 5-on-5 and Plum 3-on-3. They were teammates at the Paris Olympics and helped Team USA win an 8th consecutive gold medal. And they both spent their WNBA careers playing for the franchises that selected them. Until now. Plum, who until last year held the NCAA women's basketball scoring record, joins a Los Angeles organization that hired Lynn Roberts as its new coach this offseason and is building around 2024 lottery picks Cameron Brink and Rickea Jackson, plus veterans De'Erica Hamby and Azura Stevens. With a star of Plum's caliber, the Sparks, one of the league's most iconic franchises, look well positioned to return to the playoffs for the first time since 2020. Lloyd's arrival in Las Vegas will help the Aces, who fell short of their three-peat bid last season. A six-time All-Star and WNBA scoring leader in 2023, Lloyd is a perimeter scoring threat to play alongside three-time MVP A'ja Wilson, three-time All-Star Jackie Young, and 2022 Finals MVP Chelsea Gray. Coming off a disappointing first-round postseason exit, the Storm move up in the draft and, picking second overall, might have the chance to select Notre Dame's Olivia Miles or USC's Kiki Iriafen. Seattle still has Skylar Diggins-Smith under contract, cored Gabby Williams earlier this month, and will look to re-sign unrestricted free agent Nneka Ogwumike. Sources told ESPN the Sparks were uncertain about who would be available at the number 2 pick, and the team also hopes to sign Plum to a multi-year deal, making it palatable to give up the lottery pick. Miles and Paige Bueckers, the presumptive number 1 overall pick, are both considered top prospects, but both maintain their college eligibility for the 2025 through 26 season and haven't publicly confirmed their plans for the upcoming draft. So, one final time just to recap this blockbuster trade. Going to the Las Vegas Aces, you have Jewell Loyd and a number 13 pick in a 25 draft coming from LA. Going to the LA Sparks, you have Kelsey Plum, the number 9 pick in the 2025 draft from Seattle, and a 26 second rounder from Seattle. And going to the Seattle Storm, number 2 pick in 25 from LA, Lee Yuru, and a 26 first rounder from Las Vegas. So, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Who won this trade? Did the Aces win this trade? Did the LA Sparks win this trade? Or did the Seattle Storm win this trade? In my personal opinion, I think each team did fairly well. I would have to say it sucks to see Kelsey Plum leaving the Las Vegas Aces. You know, hell of a run with that team. A lot of historic things transpired while she was playing for that franchise. But if you look at the way the roster for the Aces is constructed, Kelsey Plum will have to come off the bench a lot of times. There just wasn't enough spots for her to play. And I think this trade definitely gives her an opportunity to get more playing time with the Los Angeles Sparks. Definitely a day 1 starter. And the Aces get a player who fits more schematically with the current roster and how it's constructed. Someone who can play alongside A'ja Wilson and take some of the weight off her back defensively for sure. And then the Seattle Storm definitely get a good player. A few draft picks definitely could help. I think we'll know who wins this trade once the draft is over, and we could look back and see what the draft picks were in comparison. But as of right now, I would say the Aces did a pretty good job considering they gave up a player who is a phenomenal talent, but wasn't necessarily a starter based on the roster construction. And they get a player that is a solid day 1 starter to add to the roster who could play right now, definitely in the starting 5. Also a number 13 pick who could come in handy off the bench and develop alongside A'ja Wilson and the rest of the girls. So I would have to say the Aces win this trade in my opinion. But like I said, we'll definitely have to wait and see after the draft how things play out. So, before we get into our final topic of the day, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of videos coming out soon on this channel. I don't want you guys to miss it. So hit that bell notification so you get notified anytime we drop. Also, I will have the Cash App link and you can go ahead and donate if you choose to. I appreciate all donations to the Good Game podcast. So, final topic of the day. The Brooklyn Nets have retired Vince Carter's number 15 jersey at Barclays Center. And this is a historic moment for one of the all-time greatest NBA players. Vince Carter was finally honored with getting his number retired. When Vince Carter preferred number 6, 12, or 23, they weren't available as a freshman basketball player at Florida's Mainland High School. So he took some advice from his mother, Michelle. His mom told him, "Find a number and make it famous," Carter said. Carter and his much celebrated number 15 reached new heights again when the Brooklyn Nets retired at halftime of their game Saturday against the Miami Heat. Carter's family, his former Nets teammates, ex-coach Lawrence Frank, team president Rod Thorne, and fellow Nets number retirees Julius Erving, Bill Melchionni, and Buck Williams were on hand to see Carter become the 7th Nets player with his number retired. "This is truly something my family and I will cherish forever," Carter said during the ceremony. "To be the 7th number to go up is insane. It is an honor to be up there with you gentlemen. Number 15 is going up there, but we're going up there together," he said. Carter spent the game seated next to Irving, his boyhood idol. Former teammates Jason Kidd and Richard Jefferson sent congratulatory messages, as did New York area luminaries Eli Manning, Queen Latifah, and rapper Fabulous. Carter's number banner will reside directly next to Kidd's number 5, which is fitting since they were drivers of one of the most successful eras in team history. Carter also credited Kidd for reinvigorating him after the Nets acquired Carter for the Toronto Raptors in December 2004. "There was new life," Carter said, coming to New Jersey. "My role in Toronto was just give me the ball and I'll give you a basket. But when I got here, they had a guy. He made the game easier for me." Though he played only 374 games over 4+ seasons with the Nets, Carter holds the team record for single-season points, 2,070 in 2006-07 season, and is third in the team history in total points at 8,834. He ranks 4th in 3 points made at 638 and playoff points at 701. He helped the Nets reach the postseason 3 times, and they twice won a playoff series before falling to the eventual Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat in 2006 and the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2007. During that era, they were never able to get over the top, so they'll probably never be recognized the way they should have been, said Heat coach Eric Spoelstra, who was a Miami assistant when it won the league title in 2006. That was a damn good basketball team, and Carter was a massive part of it. Carter, who is in his first season as a Nets television analyst, retired in 2020 after an NBA record 22 seasons at age 43, and was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2024. "I love seeing how his game evolved from where he first came in," Spoelstra said, "from just being a dunker to being an impossible player to guard. And then he was able to be one of the very few in his league that could transition gracefully. That's really amazing. It speaks to the type of human being he is." Despite playing 11 seasons after New Jersey traded him to the Orlando Magic in 2009 and spending time with 8 NBA teams, Carter says some of his best days came with the Nets. "We had fun, but we understood when it was time to lock in," Carter said. "We hung out and actually enjoyed each other and play for each other, and that's what made the game fun. I went out and did my job and had a darn good time doing it." End quote. Definitely a full circle moment for Vince Carter, one of the all-time great players in the National Basketball Association and just basketball in general. Definitely somebody that I personally looked to as one of the icons of the sport, one of those guys who really transcended the game, not just as a player, but as a name that people recognize, someone who could be mentioned with the likes of a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant or a LeBron James. One of those type of guys who really just took the game of basketball and used it as a vessel and a vehicle to express themselves athletically and inspire so many people and generations of athletes that follow them to really pursue their dreams and believe that they can accomplish things that a lot of people felt were impossible. And I think that's the biggest highlight of Vince Carter's career, is just making us understand and see with our own eyes, see that what should be impossible is actually possible. And Vince Carter was somebody who embodied that, not just on the court, but also off the court as well. So shout out to Vince Carter. Shout out to him and his family and the Brooklyn Nets organization for retiring his jersey number and putting him up there with the greats. And very much well-deserved. And I think it was the perfect time to do this. Well-deserved. Congratulations yet again. Shout out to Vince Carter. And with that being said, it is a wrap for this episode of the Good Game Podcast. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask. Hit the like button and subscribe. I do appreciate everyone who does that. Also, check out the bio of this video if you want to get the Cash App link to make a donation. That is all the time we have for today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, my name is A1K. Peace.